and it gets a bit how beautiful is that? Look at him wagging his tail. We only have to look at our dogs again. Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name's Paul and this is Walking Tall with Paul and his dogs, where you see me going out with all the dogs, having a really lovely time. Start again. Hello, welcome to the channel. My name's Paul and this is Walking Tall with Paul and his dogs, and this is where you see me go out with the dogs on to different places in nature and in the countryside, and yeah, just have a chat with you, talk about dogs, talk about God, and hope you enjoy it. Come along and as you can see, they're having a really good time. Now, who here suffers from the winter months getting darker and all the weather getting a bit drab and dreary? Like today's a little bit overcast. It's dry at the moment. The ground's really wet, but generally it's getting a little bit wintry now. There's a condition called S.A.D, and it's S.A.D, which kind of sums up the feeling you feel really when you get this condition. It's seasonal affective disorder. Now, seasonal affective disorder is basically when the nights draw in. Here in England, we have the clocks go back, which makes our mornings later, so the light starts coming in later, so sunrise is later for us, and the nights are shorter. The nights come in quicker, so by about 4 p.m. we're pretty much getting dark by the winter time. Now, we've kind of grown up with that and got used to all of that sort of thing, and but it affects some people. Some people really struggle to cope with that, because one minute we're in the summertime and we've got really long, getting dark at 10 p.m. and we're enjoying the summer months, and then suddenly we're down to by October, the end of October, we're down to only sort of like 8 hours, if we're lucky, maybe 7 hours of actual proper daylight. Now, that affects some people differently. They get this, like I said, this condition called S.A.D, S-A-D, seasonal affective disorder, where they get kind of depressed and really low and feel really awful because they're not getting enough sunlight, they're not getting B12, I think it's B12, from the sun. Correct me if I'm wrong with that one. And they're just struggling basically. Now, we can all feel like that. Even I can get like that sometimes. When I wake up in the morning, I look out the window and it's raining, and it's, I think I've got to go out all day in that. I'm going to get soaked through. It's going to be drab. The dogs will be all muddy in the car. They're going to put it all over me. And it gets a bit, but I try and make myself realise that actually there is joy to be had out of every day. And I found this little bit of scripture here, and it's Jesus speaking, and he says, "As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I've told you this so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete." How beautiful is that? My joy may be in you and your joy may be complete. So if we wake up in the morning and we're feeling really, really low, there's two things we can do. And obviously this is a God and dog channel. We can read our scripture and realise that through knowing God, we can find joy in that. We can find joy in the eternal. We can find joy in the day. We can find joy in the moment. And the Bible is a real life manual. When you read it, you don't read it as a series of stories really, even though it can be done like that. It's actually a manual for life. It will tell you through all of the Bible. You'll find different verses and different phrases, and they'll give you some help throughout the day. So even if you read like one verse or one chapter a day, And especially in the morning, I always find that if you try and do it in the morning time, or even listen to a podcast online, I've been watching Joe Kirby, I think that's his name. He does like a cup of Joe, and he basically sits and has a coffee with you on YouTube, and that's the name of his channel, A Cup of Joe. And he'll basically talk scripture, talk stories, and it's just a really lovely way to start the day. So it kind of builds you up for the day and gives you that joy before you even step out the front door into the dreary weather or what may lie ahead in that day. So it sets you up. And then the other thing we can do is look at our dogs, of course. Like the pure joy. Look at Socks there. He's 12 years old, and look at his happy face running around the field. Look at him. Look at him wagging his tail. And then there's little Ruby, who's only 7 months old. And she's got, yeah, they've all got joy. Baxter's got joy with his ball and playing. There you go, Donny. And Bixie there, look, she's enjoying herself following Baxter around. Here comes Louie. There's Louie. And Ruby, little Ruby. Ruby. Good girl. So we only have to look at our dogs again, as I always say, that God has given us these animals, these dogs, as a real testament to his word, really, because we only have to look at them to realise that the Bible kind of speaks through them in a lot of ways. So, you know, that scripture there about joy, look at the dogs. They just know joy. They just live in that joy and that enjoyment of life. So there's my little word for the day. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 22. Today was day 21 of me posting every day, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it, and see you tomorrow. Take care.